Alrighty. We are officially live and we're going to do our lovely countdown, and that'll give the people a few 30 seconds or so to get in here and do our little intro, and we'll get this ball on the road. All right. Good afternoon, good people. Whether you're on the East Coast, middle, Midwestern, or Western, we are live. It's 3 o'clock, close to 3 o'clock, a minute early. We're definitely going to allow a couple people to come in, and we have our comments up. But I'm your host, Chaz, also known as Francis, the co-owner, CEO of DNC Creative Services LLC. And I must say, tonight, I have to give my hats off to this young lady. I've watched her from a distance. Uh, I have nothing but great and admirable things to say about her because she's one, a hard worker. Two, she's an entrepreneur. Three, she's adventurous. Tonight, people, we have the CEO of Clean Bees Nest LLC, Mrs. Kendra Burnette. People,
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Francis. I am so elated to be a part of the show, and I'm glad we were able to finally do this. So I'm certainly looking forward to all your questions, and anyone that may have questions for me, please put them in the comments.
yes, we're like a kid in a candy store. I don't know where to get started, but we're going to cover a lot. But let me first shout out a couple people as far as people that are going to tune in and on all the platforms. So thank you, people, for tuning in on the YouTube page. This is our YouTube page, to our YouTube family, Francis and Shondell of DNC. So make sure you click, comment, like, and subscribe to this YouTube page. All my people on YouTube. It's also streaming on my Facebook Live and the DNC Facebook Live. And we're going to eventually see if we can tag Kendra's Facebook page to the DNC page. But hopefully, Kendra's followers, thank you for tuning in as well. So I've done my best, Kendra, but I want the people to, I want them to hear it from your mouth. Tell the people who you are.
Oh, who am I? Such a loaded question. Um,
Yes.
yes. So I am Kendra Burnette. I am a native of North Carolina, so I am a true Tar Heel Carolinian girl. Tar Heel all the way. Um, and I was born in Durham, North Carolina, so I have to shout out, Bull City. I pretty much moved around a lot throughout, my younger years. I've lived in Cary, which I pretty much grew up in. Went to Green Hope High School, so shout out to the Falcons. I graduated and went to UNC Pembroke, where learning gets personal. So shout out to the Braves in Pembroke, North Carolina. I pretty much just moved around, here and there. So I can't say that I'm really from one particular place, but after graduating from Pembroke, I came back home. I had a undergraduate degree in sociology, which is really where I found my passion in terms of just being intrigued about how groups of people work and how they operate, what they're interested in. So, unfortunately, when I graduated college, I didn't really get into my area of interest, and I was just working a lot of dead end jobs, for years, and I really never really felt inspired or motivated because I really wasn't doing something that I was passionate about. So, as far as just my background, I grew up, in a big family, Southern people, had a old school Southern grandmother, and she really is a lot of where I draw my inspiration in as far as my upbringing, because she was the type of woman who kept her home immaculate, like every day, every morning. She would get up and clean. She would cook. She always had a beautiful home filled with, beautiful family heirlooms. And she loved decorating. She loved, more of a country style. It was just kind of her. She had, roosters and hens, these little figurines all over. And so I watched my grandmother, as far as the love that she put into her home. And she would always say to me, even as a little girl, a woman is a reflection of her home. And I always really took that with me throughout life. So as I got older, I was just starting to really gravitate towards a lot of things where I was really interested in the way that a home would look and feel. Like when you first walk into, someone's home, like what that you instantly observe. And over time, I would go into like family and friends' homes, and I'm like, no, this doesn't look right. We need to move this. We need to, get rid of this and change this around, because I wanted to feel a good positive energy in a home. And so, over time, I just started um, just developing this sense of style, and just the overall essence of a home. And I didn't even know, I do home organization, just to kind of skip ahead, home organization and interior design, interior styling. And I just, over time, just learned how to perfect my gift in terms of just home organization. I didn't even know there was an industry called home organization. And this was probably maybe 5, 6 years ago when I really just kind of started as more of, pro bono. I charge folks now, but, just kind of get started. I had to, kind of build up a portfolio and experiment with my own style, and how I worked around things. And it probably wasn't until maybe 3 years ago where I learned that there was a growing home organization industry. Didn't know anything about it. I didn't know, you know, who was what type of systems were used in home organization. And so I just kind of really started doing a lot of researching, and gravitating towards, how can I, do this in terms of a business.
Yes.
And, at the time, I was the last, job I was working in, again, very dead end, unfulfilled, depressed. And I started doing, some projects here on the side while I was working full time. And I was like, I could really turn this into a business. But I wasn't thinking about it like that, because the last thing I ever really thought about was, creating a business. Like that wasn't even something that, I grew up to know. I just kind of grew up to know you go to school, you get a job, and then you work until your back hurts.
Yes.
That was just kind of the fundamental of getting a job. And I was like, I'm tired of going through this cycle where I'm feeling unfulfilled in all of these jobs. And so 2019, I created Clean Bees Nest, and it's just kind of been, growing ever since. So that's kind of just where my start comes from. Just a little bit about me.
Yes, yes, that was a wonderful, wonderful soliloquy of information, and how you got started in your why to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to backtrack a little bit, and I say that because I like what you did in the beginning. Shout out to all the places that you lived at, because I feel like a lot of people that grow up in the Carolinas sometimes just stay in that one particular area,
Yeah.
but you
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to at least travel the Carolinas,
Yeah.
and see different parts of it.
Yes.
And going back to your grandmother, shout out to your grandma. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Did she have that room with the fine china, or that room that nobody can go into? Did she have that particular room?
Absolutely. Like, you don't know anything about old school grandmas until you know that, my grandmother, she had a designated area, which was like a living room area, that you did not go in, you did not step foot in, you did not play in, nothing. And then she had, that old, chests with all of the fine china, and she would take out her silver, every few weeks and polish it and just sit there and talk. And, that was the type of environment that I grew up in, as far as your home is, again, a reflection of who you are. The home is where the heart is. And my grandmother's home was the heart of the family. So, yes, grandma did not play. Like, you just did not have your feet on the couch and, playing around.
Now, $1 million question. Did she have that? Pardon me, I mean to cut you off. Did she have that? At one point in time, every black family had the plastic on the couch. At one point in time, did she eventually have the plastic, or you can't?
My grandmother never had plastic on her furniture.
Okay.
Like she never, because we knew not to go in there. So it wasn't even a matter of, okay, I'm gonna put plastic on the furniture because someone may come in here and no, we just knew not to go in there. Grandma, she was very proud of her furniture and all of her decor. So she wanted to just really display it as such. So yes, I know a lot of people probably grew up with old school family members that had plastic on the couch, but no, not my uncle. My grandmother did not have that.
And moving forward as well. So I believe, just deducing and just talking to you in this short period of time. So your grandma was a great inspiration for
Absolutely.
you, and led you to, unbeknownst to you, to the career path and the entrepreneurial path that you are in now. So $1 million question. As speaking for myself, I didn't notice it until I became an adult, but I wasn't inspired by anyone particular in my family that were entrepreneurs, because I didn't notice it, because I didn't grow up in a family of entrepreneurs. But when I became an adult, I was like, okay, that's what an entrepreneur is. My uncle does this; he's an entrepreneur. Or I noticed things like my granddad used to own a store, or my other granddaddy owned a store. So I come to find out when I became an adult that I did have other entrepreneurs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of entrepreneurs now. I have a cousin that owns a trucking business, an aunt that owns a rental car business. So my question to you is, your grandmother was your inspiration, but did you have anybody else in your family that had that entrepreneurial drive or that spirit that you noticed or didn't notice?
Yes, absolutely. I would say the entrepreneur of the family was my Uncle Jack. Um,
Okay.
and just to send out just the honor and the love to him, because both my uncle and my grandmother had transitioned. So my uncle, I feel like he was just he was a man before his time, really and truly. He was a, a well-known, well-respected pastor um, in the community. So I would say I'm definitely a church girl.
Ooh. Okay.
And he ran a business, a church, essentially is a business, but he also made sure that it was a sense of community and family. And everyone had a role, everyone had a job. I was working as a child at the church. We had a daycare,
Wow.
shout out to, all of the members, old school members of Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church in Cary, North Carolina. We were known as the white church on the hill, beautiful white, and there were very few black churches in Cary, North Carolina, for years, Mount Zion being one of the oldest black churches.
Wow.
And my uncle became pastor in the late beginning, I believe, 70s, going into the 80s. And he basically rebuilt the church in terms of you know, getting, new flooring and just making sure we had air conditioning. There was a point in time where we didn't have air conditioning, central air. And he placed people in roles that he knew they would be good in. So everyone had a job in terms of the church. Like I worked in the daycare, for years. This before, child labor laws really took effect. And I helped, we had an annex, we had an office, did a lot of secretarial work and folding bulletins and cleaning, cleaning the church. And I saw how he would just wear all these hats. And he bought land. And he really was a Renaissance man, in a way. And he really showed us in terms of, the family and people that went to the church, like running a business requires patience and it requires time and love and effort. But he was really my example of entrepreneurship. And I did have that example. So a lot of times I look back and I'm just like, wow, like, I can't say that I had a lot of examples, like as far as, a lot of people being in business, but my uncle definitely was. And we had a lot of successful people in our community, people that went to church. We had doctors, we had lawyers in the church. So I was able to really kind of see, not that this is impossible, because I was seeing Black people being successful growing up. So it wasn't foreign to me. It just was like, could I do it? So it wasn't something that I ever felt like, okay, something I'm going to do as I got older. I just knew that I was at a point in my life where I had discovered this passion about me, that I really wanted to just grow on. Because, this thing, like, if you can pick anything to do and not get paid for it, would you still be happy for, doing it? And,
it's true.
Organization and designing was that for me. So, yeah.
So shouts out to your uncle, man. Shout out to your uncle for being the trailblazer and the Renaissance man that he was, and for inspiring you and moving forward. So that's amazing, man. Shout out to the church as well. Shout out to Cary, North Carolina. And if you guys are familiar with Cary's growing,
Yeah.
it's one of those beautiful towns outside of Raleigh. It's a beautiful place. Not a lot of Black people, but back in the day, at least, I'm not sure about now. But
no, you're right about that. So we were unique in that feature because we were doing things that was out of the ordinary. Because Cary history, we had Black people on one side of the tracks, and then whites on the other side. So I feel like over time, it started to grow. And like I said, my uncle was a very pivotal, central figure in the community, and everyone respected him. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever, whatever community that were, surrounding Cary, people knew about him. He's actually, we have a street named after him now in Cary. Yes, J. Allen Lewis, 316 J. Allen Lewis Drive in Cary. So, yeah, it's definitely.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Your uncle did a lot of great things, man. He sounds like he was a great man, or is a great man.
Absolutely.
So transitioning. So let's get to the meat and the potatoes here. Like, so a lot of people, what we're here for is to highlight and spot Kendra's business, which is the Clean Bee's Nest. LLC. So let's talk about that and how you came up with the logo and how you like formed the company, because you started off, you were a sociology major, you went to not Bavard, Pembroke, I'm sorry. And sociology is a broad field, and you get to learn different traits, you get to learn different people and behaviors.
Yes.
And fast forward now, you're an entrepreneur. So how did you end up starting your company? How did that start?
So, like I said, I was very unaware of there even being an industry of home organization. I knew there, was interior design, obviously, but, I had no clue that there was a growing and much needed industry for home organizers. So once I started really doing more research, I was like very intrigued. Like, you know how you feel when um people are off doing other things, and you're just like the oddball out, like I've always kind of been labeled as she's weird, she's and for years that really bothered me because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to, just be seen as normal. And it took me, really growing into adulthood to be comfortable with the fact that I was weird. I'm okay. I'm okay to be different and eccentric, and I'm okay with that. So I just kind of started just really from scratch. I didn't really know anything about creating a business. And I, again, had to do a lot of research, talk to a lot of people that were in various businesses, but I didn't really know anyone in the home industry. So home organization industry. So I really just a lot that came to me. I didn't know that I was already doing the right things. Like I had already, developed a very unique system in how I do home organization. And I didn't actually know that there was a science behind it. There's methods behind, home organization. I didn't know any of this, but I was already doing it. So it's just kind of that innate feeling, that gift that, you don't know anything about it. You don't know anyone in it, but you just have it. So I started with just creating a website, just a basic website. I had someone tell me, start with a website. I had never put together a website, didn't have an idea, because at the time I'm just like, well, I don't want to, pay anyone to do it. I'm going to figure it out on my own. Like my life motto is figure it out.
Yes.
So I created a website. I created, business cards. At that time, before even all of that, I was like, the name has to be unique. The name has to be different. And so just started kind of throwing out things, and a lot of what I do, as far as something that is very deep and spiritual to me, I dream about. So I actually dream. The name came to me in a dream.
In a dream, okay.
Yes, it came to me in a dream, and I'm like one of those people because I'm a writer. I'm also a poet. I woke up in the middle of the night, like out of my sleep, and I wrote it down. Klean Bees.
Okay.
And so one thing I love to, just paying homage to is bees. Bees. Bees remind me of my childhood, being down in the country with my grandmother in the summers. I would catch bees in her mason jars.
Okay.
And so she would go out there to get a mason jar because she did a lot of, canning and pruning and stuff like that. A lot of jams. She'd go out there, open up the top, and these bees would just start flying out. She's hollering and screaming. But bees are vital to life. Without bees, we're good as gone. So bees, and then even with the word clean, I wanted it to be with a K because my name starts with a K. And then, nest, even though bees have hives, they still nest, And then you have to think of the queen bee, without the queen bee, the colony cannot survive. So it was a lot that a lot of symbolic thinking that went into the name. And
Yes.
you know, it's like almost like getting a tattoo for me. Like it has to have meaning. If it's going to be something that's going to be on my body for the rest of my life, like it has to be symbolic. It has to have some kind of meaning, and that's just kind of what I came up with. So between the name, coming up with the name, I came up initially with the logo. I look back on some things, and I'm like, man, I really did not know what I was doing, but I was headed in the right direction. So
Yes.
my first logo was like this. It looked like more of a wasp than it did a bee, and so you know, I didn't. Again, I had to kind of get into like digital
Yes.
designing things that I had. You know, it wasn't it didn't come to me as far as just a natural talent, but I was like, I got to do this on my own. You know, like I don't really have the money right here, right now, to pay somebody to come up with a logo and a website and business cards. I have to do this on myself by myself. So came up with the name, the logo. I knew I wanted my colors to be white and black. So I am just kind of also paying homage to my organization, Swing by Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated. Our colors are white and black. So I wanted to, you know, kind of pay homage to my organization. So it was a lot that kind of went into just the essence of what I wanted Clean Business to be and to represent, because I knew that I was going to always be a walking billboard
Yes.
and the first, you know, point of contact. So it, you know, obviously has evolved over the years. Last year I did a relaunch, so I had a brand new logo created. You know, just kind of redesign my website, and just a lot that I wanted to do in terms of my business plan. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to a business, you have to be very revolutionary. You have to be extremely creative and innovative, because it has to evolve in terms of how you see it going for you in the future. So I'm always just trying to think of new ideas to you know, go further, go farther.
100%. And I tell people all the time, what you were going through is the process, and you figured out during the process how to tweak things, and that's the hardest part about being an entrepreneur, because we have to. And I say we because I commend you for being an entrepreneur. It's almost like finding a like-minded person. And going back to what you said earlier, I don't think you were weird. People don't
Oh,
understand.
I mean, I wasn't, you know, I know that now, but you know, obviously when you're growing up and you're in school, you know, people are very, you know, mean,
Judgmental,
and
yeah.
just, you know, I was bullied, you know, a lot, and you know, it was just like, you know, what can I do to feel normal or to fit in, and you know, when I got older, it was like, you're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to be um
Different.
something that's so rare and different that other people, you know, stop and they stare, and they're you know, really connected to your energy and your spirit, because there is something different about you. And for me, that was all that I really needed to really know about myself. Was, you know, I'm not supposed to be um doing things that everyone else is just kind of doing. And I think even um being a business owner, you have to be very cognitive of the fact that you don't want to have the imposter syndrome. You know, like you look around and you see other people doing this with their business, and you're like, well, I'm not really there. You know, am I worthy enough? Am I special enough? It's, you know, so I've
Yeah.
had to kind of deal with imposter syndrome and doubt. You know, I'm not where I want to be. And I'll tell you, in any entrepreneur would tell you this. If you want to be crazy, become a entrepreneur. Like
Oh,
if you really want to know what living on the edge is about, Become an entrepreneur, a small business owner. Like, we're talking sleepless nights and lots of tears and a trail of tears, really.
Yeah. Growing
And
pains for sure.
yes, for sure. And I just had to kind of get to a point where even my circle changed, my tribe changed. Like I had to kind of, when I quit my job, full-time job now, live in Raleigh because I'm now here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Quit a job, and I had to get to the point where I was distancing myself from people because my mentality had to change in the sense of going from a 9 to 5 mentality to full-time. Like, this is your baby, you're growing this. Entrepreneurship is a different type of mindset. Then I got a job. I'm here from this time to this time. I have a 30-minute break. Like, to me, I aspire to know what freedom is. That is like the
Ultimate goal.
that, like, if I don't, if anything, before I leave this world, I want to know what freedom feels like. Freedom in owning your time and owning your space and setting your own rules and boundaries. And most people know I'm a rebel. Somebody to tell me to go left, I'm gonna find a way to go right and do it on my own. So yeah, that's just a part of that, what I was, being weird, being different, and I'll take it. I'm good with that.
I tell people all the time, just go back to the weird and different thing. I think a lot of people that don't understand what you're doing, whether you're a little kid, an adult, 40s, 50s, they consider it weird because they don't understand it, right?
Right.
And it's not, to me. I never really liked the word weird. Now there's two levels. There's two levels of weird. It
Yeah,
really is weird.
there is.
Now
There
that
is.
is weird. And weird. Forgive me. I have a cousin. She's gonna kill me for saying this, but when I was growing up, she really was weird. She would put ketchup on popcorn. Now that's weird. Now going back to the other weird, which I don't consider weird, what you were different
Mm-hmm.
because and a lot of people don't understand different. They consider you weird, and I'm like, nah, that's not weird. It's like she's just different or he's different. Why would you call it weird?
Yeah.
Um, and being an entrepreneur is being different because
Yeah.
you're setting your own set of rules, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the most hardest, most gratifying things you can ever do.
Yeah.
And I would say this: I think what you're doing, you're leading to that. Whatever you're doing is working because it's leading you towards that ultimate goal of freedom,
Mm-hmm.
of that financial freedom and that time that you want. But let
Yes.
me try to show people your logo, and maybe I'm gonna try to play a video. So y'all
Yeah.
bear with me. So I'm gonna show you her logo off her Instagram page, and then I'm gonna show you a quick video. Y'all bear with me, and if that doesn't work, I got a plan B. But let's share right quick, people, and we're gonna see what home organization looks like from Kendra's eyes, and we're gonna look at her logo. So hold on. Let's try to share the screen. Uh, Share screen. There we go. Alrighty. Go to window. I thought I had the window popped up. It might be on this one. I don't have it. I have it popped up on the other one. Dang on it. Let me see if it'll click in. No, it won't. See, I had it pulled up on my main screen. Let's see if it'll pull up that way. Nah. Because I had the Instagram showing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it is. Dang it. Because I had a tab open that showed the Instagram. And it's like right here, but it won't let me click on it. Story of my life. Hold on, y'all. Let's stop sharing the screen then. Because I believe I had to have the window already up. That's
Mm-hmm.
what probably was. Stop sharing. Let's try it again. Hold on. Maybe if I open up a new window with just Instagram, it might pop up that way. But yeah, hopefully we'll see this cool logo. And or I might be able to share and do it that way. Hold on. Let's share again. Let's try second time's a charm. If not, we're gonna roll with something else. Here we go. Share system audio. Window. Um Let's try to open. And shout out to Ahmed. Uh, he let me get to a couple comments. Good day, Dr. G in the building. Shout out to you, man. Oh, what we're discussing an entrepreneur here, Kendra Burnette. She's the CEO of Clean Bees Nest. And thank you for joining us today. And let's see if I can pull it up. Boom. Do y'all see it or no?
I can see.
Can you see your page?
Yes, I can see my page.
All right, so let's scroll down and see if we can see this wonderful logo she was talking about.
Right.
I might have to scroll down. Is the video all the way down?
Yeah, I can see you scrolling.
Ah, there we go. Let's see if we can click the video. Hopefully it'll play. It may not while we're on, but is it playing?
Yep, it's playing.
All righty. It doesn't have any audio to it, but you can add the commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, so the video you're seeing, I did a more or less like a quick home tour of just my space. And I just kind of really want to showcase like my personal style as far as how home organization and interior design are just they're a beautiful marriage, you know. So I've had a lot of people say, what's your taste, like what's your your type of design inspiration, and I'm definitely a maximalist, which is different from a minimalist. So I'm more or less, I love, textures, patterns, metallics, a lot of bold prints, colors. I'm like, I love zebras. So I'm like, let me, I love a lot of different elements that I can build in a space. So I'm not, just simple, and I know a lot of people have a lot of more simplistic taste, very kind of modernized, but I'm like one of those Afro chic, I love just mixing different textures, patterns, bold prints, all about just like maximize the look and the feel. So,
and then I'm gonna take a quick glimpse of this after, and then I'm gonna get back to you because this is a dope after video. Because I guess I don't know if they said it before, but this is the after, how it looks after you're doing your home organization. Oh, you got the before and after. So y'all check this out, y'all. Look at this.
Yes. So this particular video, let me tell you, it took me 4 days.
Wow.
To organize this closet with the help of and bringing in, my family, my sister, my brother. Shout out to my sister Ebony, my brother Jesse. 4 days to kind of really complete this particular closet. And when I say, I think my client probably, I don't know how many bags of clothes, shoes, accessories that we had donated. But I'm just one of those, like, decluttering is important in your home. And I'm not talking like doing it once a year. I'm saying declutter your home periodically, because over time you'd be surprised how much you accumulate. And if you're not using it, it's just taking up unnecessary space. So one of my favorite spaces to organize are closets. Like, I talk about a weird obsession. I love closet. Like, I can walk in a closet and, most of the times I have clients be like, just excuse the mess. Like, no, I'm just really ashamed, really embarrassed. I'm like, no, like, the first step is, just reaching out to a professional home organizer, because in home organization, we kind of categorize it as professional home organizer, and then you have your certified home organizer. So certified home organizers, they actually take courses and classes and have a certain number of hours that they put into their projects. They take a national test to become certified home organizers. And these are really like organizers who move into more of the study and the research of home organization, as far as um, home organization being associated with a lot of mental disorders, mental illnesses, hoarding, ADHD, people that have a hard time manage their home systems and their, that balance that they're trying to find. People who become very overwhelmed and they don't know really where to start with trying to declutter and organize their home. Like certified home organizers are more of like the creme de la creme of really being able to understand the psychology behind
it.
a lot of disorders, mental illnesses that may contribute to a home being cluttered or hoardered. So I'm just considered a professional home organizer, but I certainly am always looking to grow, and I see myself being more on the certified end.
Well,
You can have contracts with
okay.
the state, and a lot of people that go to therapy and counseling, if you're having issues within your home, as far as dealing with anxiety and clutter inside the home, I want to call up a certified home organizer and come get it right.
So what's that process like? So what do you have to do to become a certified? Like you said a certain amount of hours, but what's the process? Is it like a application you have to maintain, or what is the process like?
Yeah, so they have a national organization of professional organizers, which is a national organization of home organizers all over the country, even in different countries, where you go and you take classes, you take courses, and then you take a test, like an official test, where you become certified. Um, so the process is actually very tedious. It's really like you're going to school.
Wow.
You have to have a certain amount of hours to kind of complete the program. But I'm in a wonderful organization called NAPO, which is the National Organization of Black Professional Organizers. So this is just a wonderful organization of people of color, organizers of color, because again, the home organization industry is a growing industry. People, I don't know anyone watching, have watched uh, the Home Edit, which is on Netflix, and Marie Kondo, and other more well-known organizers. But we really want to still have a sense of visibility within this particular industry of an organization that may not always showcase people of color, that it is still something that we really still want to be inclusive on in terms of diversity. So the National Organization of Black Professional Organizers has been just a wonderful organization to be a part of, in terms of the organizers that I've been able to network with and connect with, because it's like, not only are we professionals and certified professionals, but we have this, great camaraderie where we can go in and ask questions and reference services. If we happen to be in different states and, a client is looking for a service, or organizer in that particular location, they can go on the website and see, who can be of service to them. So it's like we there's national conventions of organizers, that throughout the year, or end of the year, when they have annual conferences. So it's a very we're really serious about this particular industry.
So two questions. So first of all, how long have you been doing home organizing? And two, how long have you been a part of that organization?
So I have been a professional organizer for about 4 years now.
Wow.
And um, I joined the National Organization of Black Professional Organizers last year. So it's been about a year now. Yeah. And I was like, again, here like this is like, someone who's like, I collect stamps, or I collect, bird feathers. Like there's always a group of people who have similar interests where you can just be like, we're crazy together,
That is true. That is
So
true.
I actually it's kind of like a a special group of friends. It's like, you're those kids in school, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and nobody understands you.
Oh
But
God.
it is,
Yes, facts.
yeah.
Facts. Or you could be like the closet people like me. I was like a closet Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
And it's like not in public, but in closet. I was one of those people. I
Right.
wasn't.
You
You
can
know.
be around those people who like, you're just like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm really a part of this.
Yeah.
But these are
But,
like only these people know. Yeah.
but I could walk by that group and be like, oh, okay. I'm the type of guy that walk by y'all group and be like, oh, okay, I know what they doing, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna, show it in public, right? But I know you guys are cool. You have a little weird, quirky thing going on over there. But that organization, you guys have a group of like-minded people. So
Yes.
that's a good organization to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So take us through the process. So how do we, like, let's say if people are curious, how do we like hire your services? What's the process like actually trying to utilize your services?
Yes. So I am, one of those people who I believe in. You see me, you feel me, you have my attention. I'm very big on from beginning to end being very involved in a project with my client. Okay. So I provide all types of ways to be able to communicate and contact me, my, email. I'm old school, so I like to pick up the phone, and really communicate with people, especially, when you are hired for a specific service. It's like most people have never hired a professional home organizer. So a lot of times they don't really know the process or the steps. Because it is different from, a cleaning business. You know what they're going to come in and do. And so professional home organizers were a little different because, again, coming from a background in sociology, I'm more interested in getting down to the root of the problem. How did we get like this? So I spend my time, most of the times, I'm not one of those you just call and you set a service date. I'm coming to your home. We're sitting down. We're having a conversation. I'm walking around your home. I'm, giving you pointers and tips, a real full-on consultation. I spend probably a good hour and a half with most of my consultations. Probably sometimes even more than that, because I want people to really take away from the fact that I care enough about knowing about who you are, what your current, home situation is like, and how we can develop a home organizational plan that fits your lifestyle and something that you'll be able to maintain over time. So, you'd be surprised how, many people, just a lot of factors in terms of, again, mental illnesses, and even the way that they grew up. Maybe they didn't have, a home where it was, always clean and organized. And, so you have to kind of learn those things over time as an adult. So, I'm taking notes and I'm, diving into, I have clients who, a lot of times where holding on to something or hoarding comes from is the sense of loss, sense of grief. someone lost someone that was close to them, and it actually is internalized where they go about their home life. When you internalize those feelings and those emotions of loss and grief, it spills over into your home, your physical space. So I'm sitting and I'm trying to get to the root of the problem, and I'm aha,
That's
this
the problem.
this is where this is coming from. And then I think in in another aspect of me, like I'm like a therapist in a way.
Yes.
I'm a coach, a home organization coach. So I'm just like, okay, let's create this system so that this will be a better home organizational system for you, because your home should be a place of peace and harmony and balance. And that's really what I want to be able to give to my clients. And everyone's not always ready to start. They like, they may be game for it in the beginning, but it's like you have to be ready to let go.
To let go.
That's not something that I try to force on anyone. I want you to be ready, because when you're ready, I stay ready. So let's go.
The funny part, like what you were saying, a lot of people they become associated with something, an item or items, and they build that connection with it. And like you said, whether it's a dead family member, let's just say it's like a something that's old or broken in the home, and they don't want to let it go because it reminds them of that family member or that boyfriend or that girlfriend or whatever. But sometimes a lot of people don't want to let go, right? So I'm glad that you're kind of coaching them through that process and let them know that it's okay to get rid of this.
Yes,
it's time for it to let go. So let's talk about people that a lot of people, you talk about people that have disorders and mental health aspect of it. But let's talk about some people that basically would hire your services that don't have the time. Because I saw shows where like celebrities would hire people like you and home organizers because they're just busy. They're doing a movie, they're on the road, they're singing or whatever they're doing. But people like you, especially your field is like huge on the West Coast. It's growing on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, like people, she can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So talk about people that don't have time and they would need your services as a home organizer. But go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I say about not having time is you gotta make time. Okay. You have to make time. People make time for the things that they love. Period. And so when it comes to your home, you have to make time for the place you go and lay your head down and rest, because our home is, again, it's our haven. When we're out in this crazy chaotic world, your home is where you go to rest and have peace. And if you don't have peace in your home, it's just going to be something that you're going to struggle with. So even if you have a busy life and you're gone and you're working and you have families, you still have to carve out that time to give to your home. And that is why developing a system as a home organization coach is, let's set up a schedule for you, even if it's something small like dusting on a Tuesday, or just going through some old items just to slowly kind of just get a bag, at least start. There's no excuse in your home looking like who did it and why. Okay. So it's really like, I've had people, and I'm just gonna be real. I've had people that look good head to toe. Every time I see them, they shining, they got on the latest gear, they got on they drifting from head to toe and Gucci, Prada, whatever. And the house is a hot mess.
Talk, Kendra. I love it. Go ahead.
So, if you can put yourself together to be presentable to the world, why have your home looking like this? It's you're off balance and it's out of order, and you have to get.
I'm sorry. The funny part. There is no lie indicated in everything you just said.
Not at all.
It makes no sense for you to be that discluttered, disorganized. But you know what? A lot of men and women are.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, and I've gone by 10 gazillion cars. We've all seen this before. You go to Walmart, you go in Target, you go somewhere, and you be like, God, that car is so junky. And you can just imagine what their home looks like.
Yeah.
If your car is junky, what does your home look like?
Yeah.
When they come out, Gucci product to the socks, Louis, and you like, okay.
And my thing is, and again, and I want to be clear, it's not me coming from a sense of judgment, because I'm again invested in the why. Not invested in what I see, because most of the times when I'm doing home organization projects, and again, I have clients who like don't judge me, and I know it's a mess. I don't even see the mess, because to me, I'm like, there's beauty in the struggle. I see the end result. I don't even see the clutter. I see what it's going to be when I'm finished. So I want people to know and to understand, like, I want to start this, but I want to make sure that I'm able to maintain it over time. And granted, I've had a lot of projects with clients where I go, I do, the whole magic. These fingers are magic, boy.
Yes.
And I still check in, because I still have clients that, every few months, we call back, we need to maintain what has been done,
So what are some of your what is your shortest project you ever did, and what's your longest project you ever did?
Short projects, are more or less probably smaller scale projects, like maybe kitchen projects. Like, I love doing like food pantries that could probably just be like a few hours. And because I work at my pace, but I get it done. I have I've had projects where I'm working within a day between 6, 8, 9 hours on just one project. And let me tell you, I'm one of those. I don't take a break.
What?
I don't sit down. I don't like when I'm in it. It's like you can ask like
You in the zone.
Any of my clients, so they have to come in there and be like, "Hey, Kendra, can I bring you something to drink? Can I go around get you something to eat? You want to sit down?" Like, I'm one of those. I kid you not. I will be like, if it's 8, 9 hours, I do not stop. Like, it's like, and anything else in life, I'm like, I need to take a break. Like, if I'm at the gym, I'm just like, I need to take a break. But what I don't want until it's done. I've had, again, projects, the closet that we saw, the first closet, 4 days.
4 days, okay.
4 days. So that was probably like my longest project, like 4 days, as far as like home organization. But on the design side, design projects do probably take a little longer than home organization projects, because with design, most of my clients, I'm actually shopping for, pieces,
Okay.
furnishings. I do all the shopping. I also am an e-designer. I create mood boards. So like, that virtuals, that more artistic side of who I am. So I create mood boards. I find pieces. I create a whole mood board of what it's going to look like when it's put together. Because that helps clients visually see, like, okay, this is good together. So design projects probably take the longest, because like a few weeks, I'm still looking for things. Clients like, I don't know, I've changed my mind. I think I like this better. So yeah, I think my design projects are a little more tedious, but I'm kind of getting to a place where I scaled back on a lot of home organization projects, because I was at a place where I was taking on too much, projects that were a little too expensive, in me being able to, like, okay, if this is going to take me more than 2 or 3 days, I may not want to do it, because I've yet to really like build a team where I can have other people kind of helping me, and stuff like that. So, for me, if it's like something that I know that, I can really get done, because people don't understand, like, home organization is it's your whole body and your mind working together. You, like, imagine going into, you can't see the floor, you can't see the walls, you can't, like, you just in there just like sorting, getting through, like, it is a long, tedious process, and you are thinking constantly, like, moving this, making, sorting piles, making sure the piles don't, come back together, because then you got to resort. And I always tell my clients, they know, I'll be like, you can't be in my way when I'm doing this. Like, it's more or less like assisting me in a way if we're going to get rid of it, but I have to kind of be in my zone, working on my own, because it's very tedious. It's a lot to it.
I'm gonna say this: you definitely have a superpower, and I say that because you said that you envision it the way it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost like a lot of people don't have that talent. Like that takes true talent to envision. Okay, this is the way it needs to be. This is the way it is now, but this is the way it needs to look. So I commend you. And last two questions. What is your favorite part about being a home designer or organizer, and what's your least favorite? So I want to know the two, the favorite and least favorite.
I would say my favorite part about being a home organizer and a designer is the fact that it's a part of my therapy. A part of my it's just having that limitless, and I say limitless creativity. Like, I come from people who built things with their hands, who created things with their hands, made something out of nothing. So for me, it's like to see something and it's in a disarray and it's chaotic, and you go in and you bring peace to that situation. That is one of, I mean, to see my clients cry and be emotional and just be like, I haven't slept in my bedroom for 3 years, and for them to go in to have that peace, like, to me, it is the most astounding, things that, you can just have in terms of, knowing that you have this gift and this passion. So that's like one of my favorite things. Like, it's just like being in a creative, like, world of just taking something and molding it, crafting it, and it just being like this miraculous feeling. So that's definitely my favorite. My least favorite is it's very hard, again, it's a very tedious process, takes patience beyond anything you can imagine, and it's very hard on your body. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Most of my projects, I have to come home and soak my feet. I have to literally, when I'm done with the project, I don't do anything for like at least 2 or 3 days, because my body has to recover from all of that. And I'm talking, I'm moving, I'm lifting, I'm climbing, I'm, just skint my leg, cut myself. It's a lot of danger that goes into these projects sometimes, things falling, and, I've had something fall, hit me in the head.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm looking at stars. I'm like, but I gotta finish. It is very hard on your body. I will say that it's extremely hard. And I always get into my projects where I'm like, I'm just like pumped, and like midway through, my energy starts to decrease, because I'm just like, when I'm going through and I've sorted everything, like, now how do I put the puzzle together, and I kind of like go down in my energy, and I'm just like, I don't think I can do this. Every project I've ever had, I've always been like, I don't think I could do this. But something just like just like, nah, you gonna do this, and I'm just like, you know, just kind of back into it, and it's before I know I'm done. So
Your will kicks in. And before we
yes.
get out of here, let me give a couple shout outs because I got to get your people. I got to give them a shout out. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Raphael Moore. And if
Oh
anybody
yeah, that's
if
my
anybody has any
brother.
questions, now is the time to give you any questions for Kendra. But let me give a couple shout outs. So shout out to Raphael Moore, and he said, "Shout out to my sister. I'm proud of you."
Oh, thank you. And shout out to my brother Raphael, him and his lovely wife. They are entrepreneurs in Alaska.
Oh
Um
wow!
Alaska, they own like a coffee, like coffee, they sell coffee lattes, the drip. So shout out to the drip in Anchorage, Alaska. Okay, because there are black people in Alaska. So shout
Yes.
out to my brother and his lovely wife and their family. I love you, and I'm gonna call you. So answer your phone.
Sidebar. I've been to Alaska for one day, and
Really?
yes, I've been to Alaska for one day. And Raphael, shout out to you and your wife. Y'all have the most beautiful mountains in the world, I believe, in Alaska. I had to go. My mom was living there. I had to go pick her up. So shout out to Alaska.
Oh wow. Okay.
And y'all follow them at the thedrippack.com.
Okay.
Um, and shout out to Jay Burnette. Love you, sis. He said
Oh,
that as well.
look, brother. Look, let me tell you. When I say that I have my first soldiers in the army of Clean Beast Nest is my brothers and my sisters,
Mm,
Raphael, Jesse, my sister Ebony. Like they have helped me tremendously, especially on projects. And you know, I will say we, you know, they say you can't work with family, but you know, they always have my back. So I'm definitely appreciative of them.
and I saw a picture of you guys on your social media. So you have a good network. Like I think they had the Clean Bees Nest shirts
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
So that was super dope. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave you. Uh, I want your honest opinion because I see that you're a intellectual, spiritual, deep person. So I saw that you put out a lot of quotes. So we're gonna go over one of your quotes
Mhm.
and just let me know your honest opinion. Because how do you come up with these innovative and creative quotes? And then I want you to let the people know after that where we can find you at. And then we'll be in closing because we don't have any more questions. But
Yeah.
definitely, let me go over one of your quotes because I was like, let me not leave without going over the quotes because it was super dope. Um, it was one of your most recent quotes, and it said, because a lot of times I guess you're just inspired and you post it. And
Yeah.
this quote was by Francine J, and it
Mhm.
goes as follows: Remember, the things with which we choose to surround ourselves tell our story.
Yes.
Let's hope it's not I choose to live in the past or I can't finish this project I start. Instead, let's aim for something like I'm living lightly and gracefully and with only the objects I find functional. I find it functional or beautiful.
Mhm.
So when you post these quotes, where does the inspiration come from? Like you putting out this motivation in these gyms. So what do you or how do you get this inspiration to put this energy out there?
I think the inspiration is um more or less, and I'm not really big on, you know, I guess a lot of people are, you know, a lot of self-help books and stuff like that. Um, but I'm I really feel a lot of times, you know, we do need certain messages and forms of motivation to like really kick in terms of, you know, just the way that we live our lives, how we treat other people. But I think for me, most of my quotes really relate to our spaces, our home space, and I think it's just more or less, even with that particular quote, like you shouldn't have anything in your space that doesn't serve a purpose, that doesn't bring
Mm,
you peace, that's just kind of out of the norm. And if it's something people don't know, that material things, we live in a very materialistic society, and we
okay.
live in a society where it's like, I gotta have this, I gotta buy this, you know, this high consumerism. You know, it's like you look at it and you want to buy it, then you get it home, you have nowhere to put it, it sits, it collects dust, you know, and it's just kind of like that could have been replaced with with something where, you know, it served some type of purpose for you. Like it was more purposeful for you in your life. Like you could have bought a bike and went on a nature trail and enjoyed something outside of just a materialistic thing. Because what happens is people they throw away things over time eventually. But it's like for me, nothing in my home is out of place for me. Everything has a place, and everything is symbolic of what it is that I put in my home, in my space. If over time to a place where it's it's energy that that's connected in material things, and that's why you have to release it. You have to let go of it. I have had, you know, past relationships, lovers give me things, and I'm like, I don't want to see this no more. So I don't want to feel that energy anymore. So I have to get rid of it, you know.
No,
So,
no one needs that constant reminder, right?
no, absolutely not. No.
So tell us where we can find you, website, Instagram, how, you know, you want to, I don't want to put your number out there, but your Gmail, your business Gmail. So how can we find you if we want to book your services? Because we're like super excited. I want you guys to, if you need help,
Yeah.
she's giving you the lifeline
Yes. So
before the prices go up.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Y'all better get with it. I'm
Look,
telling
I
you.
it like this, like, you know, you can't put a price on talent. You can't put a price on people who have literally blood, sweat, and tears put their life into their work, into their business. You know, I've had people want to negotiate, and I'm like, nah, I'm not negotiating. Like it is what it is, you know. But you can contact me in terms of any services you may need. I am a website www.cleanbeesnest.com, spelled with a K. Um, you can go online. You can, you know, book a consultation because that's where it starts.
Okay.
Um, Pricing is always discussed within consultations. I can also be reached Instagram. I'm on IG Klean _bees _nest. And I'm also on Facebook, Clean Bees Nest LLC.
Hey, you heard it from her, people. Um, I must say, I gotta give you your flowers while you're here. Thank you so much from
Yes.
me, DNC and the DNC family. You're our second interview, and it was super, super amazing. I learned a lot. I feel like I'm so educated, and I learned a lot about what you do.
Mhm.
Because y'all can go back to her Facebook, I mean her Instagram page, and look at the before and afters, y'all. Look at the work that she does and the love and the craft and the love that she puts in her craft. She does a super, super amazing job, man. So thank you for taking the time out to come talk to us, educate us, let us in your world, your not weird but different world.
And I just want to thank you and just your business, your company, because I remember I don't know what it was, but you had reached out to me. You will follow me from like 10, 12, 14 different pages, and shouting me out and supporting me. So I truly appreciate you, truly from the bottom of my heart, because you know, you never know what someone is going through personally and even in their business, where you just need like that little boost of like, you got this, like that confidence and that, you know, that visibility. So I appreciate you, I really do.
Much appreciated. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a sidebar. I don't know. I was just scrolling on Instagram because, like I said, I'm a digital media marketing manager. My job is to be on social media for money. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't trolling. I'm a professional troller, I guess, because I'm
Right.
on there marketing, right? But I
Mhm.
was like, this page looks super dope. And I mean, I'm not gassing her, y'all. The aesthetic on her page, literally, like, you know how some people are living the way that like they're acting and they're living the way they are. Like your page represents who you are as an individual. It's very clean. The aesthetic was lovely. Everything matches, is color coordinated. And I was like, damn, this page is wonderful. Who is this person? And I started scrolling, and I was like, and she DM'd me. I'm talking about just like this, where it was prompt, very professional. So I was like, she's a super dope, cool person. And that's why I was like, I have to interview her. And we maintained a friendship since then. And I'm looking forward to maintaining our friendship and meeting you in the future, because I was in Charlotte over the weekend. So if I'm ever in the Charlotte area, me and the missus and the kiddo or whatever, we'll definitely have to link up, because Kendra does like horseback riding. She's a very adventurous person.
I am like I am not anyway. I guess the way that I won't say the way that I look or present myself. Like I'm a country girl. Anything where I'm like, I want to be outside. I want to be barefooted. I want to be riding horses. I grew up riding horses. Shout out to my grandfather, Joe Allen. He was a skilled equestrian, a black cowboy. I mean, just to see him ride down the road on his horse. I mean, it's something. And again, he has also a transition. So I've gotten back into like my horse riding lessons, because it's a closeness that I want to keep to my ancestors and to my grandparents. And I feel like it's just really paying homage to a love that he had, that a love that I still have. So when I say country girl, I get out there in the mud. I'm just like, let's get it.
Hey, you heard it from her first, y'all. So like I said, make sure y'all go follow her platforms. And this is a super, super dope interview. We're going to push it. And I hope a lot of people get to see this, because you are a super, super dope, talented, wonderful young lady.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, had questions. Hey, I'm excited for the future. Queen Bee's Nest. Here we go.
100%. So we'll talk to you guys later. And thank you again for joining us, Kendra. You did a wonderful job. And we'll talk soon.
Yes, thank you.
All righty. So that was Kendra, man. That was super dope, you guys. That was our second interview. Our first one was a young man named Dashango, John Stafford. So y'all go check that out. Follow us on YouTube at Francis and Shondell and DNC. So you'll find us. You're gonna see it all over my social media. Y'all make sure y'all follow Clean Bees. Her page is spelled with a K, Klean, Bees, Nest LLC. So you can find her on all social media platforms. And thank you to all the guests for tuning in. Whether you're on Facebook, my personal, whether you are on the business page, which is D&C Creative Services LLC, or whether you're on YouTube. We appreciate you guys for following, all the questions, all the guests. Raphael, Jay, thank you. Whoever's going to watch this in the future, thank you. This episode was brought to you by Q Jackson Apparel Company and Clark Button LLC. So I don't think I got anything else. The last video hit almost 400 views on YouTube. So I need more. So click, comment, like, and subscribe. We need more viewers on YouTube. And if you're interested in getting interviewed, DM your boy. We will interview. We're looking for influential and non-influential people. We just want to hear your story. We're a digital media marketing company. So we just like to network and market with people, hear their story about their business, about their books, or their personal lives, whatever they got going on. So DM DNC Creative Services LLC. And you heard it from your boy first. Thank you to all my family and friends and my loved ones for supporting me, resharing. I can't say that enough. And y'all stay blessed, man. We look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys. And don't forget, if you need any marketing, hit up DNC. And that's about it. Catch you guys on the next episode. And I'm gone.